Welcome to Tyrannosaurus Riffs. My name is Brandon, and today we are going to shoot out a Celestion Vintage 30 and an orange Voice of the World. Alright, so this video is going to be a little bit different than my previous speaker shootouts. Previously I would play through both speakers and kind of chat through it. I've already pre-recorded these since I used the orange Gymroot 2x12 cabinet. I borrowed a UK-made 8-ohm vintage 30 out of my Mesa cabinet and put it into this Gymroot cabinet to go with the other Voice of the World. So these were recorded with the exact same guitar, same track, as equal as it can be. They are both 60-watt speakers, and yeah, we're gonna listen to it and kind of chat through it together, starting now. Alright, now that you can see the setup that was used for this, I've got a Schecter Balsac E-1 FR with the Fishman Fluence Modern pickups. The clean riff was done on the neck pickup with Voice 1, and everything else was done on the bridge pickup with Voice 1. And this was tuned to drop C for all of these riffs. The amp that was chosen is the Frames Cobra. Obviously we're going through the orange Gymroot 2x12 and recording both speakers at the same time with Shure SM57s, Pig Hog cables, everything's the same. The gain was set the same on the Audient. There's no pre or post for the live setup. So let's jump in. There will be an image below with which speaker is playing at which time, just in case you forget. We've got 6 riffs to go through, 1 clean and 5 high gain, 12 altogether between the 2 speakers. So we'll start off with the Vintage 30, and this is what that sounds like. Okay, orange Voice of the World. Alright, so what I'm gathering from that is the Vintage 30 has a little bit more mids, where the Voice of the World's going to have a little bit more of the upper mids, maybe into the highs, kind of that 2K to 3K range. And I don't really know that I like one better than the other in that specific setting. Generally, I would go for the low end. I like a lot of lows in my clean stuff, but I do like the way the Voice of the World sounds with that clean in that setting. So I don't really know which one I like better, but I think they both do sound good. Let's go ahead and move on to the high gain stuff. Going into this, I assumed the Vintage 30 was going to have kind of that higher, harsher sound, and from that one high gain riff, I was wrong. I actually thought I labeled these wrong, but the Voice of the World's got more of that 2 to 3K kind of, maybe not harshness, but that high-end sizzle going on, where the Vintage 30 doesn't have as much, and it's actually the exact opposite of what I thought those results would be. But let's move on to riff number 3. Alright, so kind of the same thing going on again. You still got that 2 to 3K, not harsh, but almost harsh kind of thing going on with the Voice of the World, where the Vintage 30 is sitting more on the mid-level and sounds a little bit cleaner. But in that setting, with individual notes being picked, the Voice of the World sounds a little bit less harsh to my ears. but that's just my thoughts. Riff 4. Kind of the same thing going on. I'm leaning a little bit more towards the vintage 30 at this point, just for definition and clarity. It sits in the mid-range a lot better, but let's go to Riff 5. I'm leaning towards the vintage 30 at this point. Now this is a Mesa loaded vintage 30. I need to test out a UK versus a Chinese, but I have not gotten to that yet, so one day. Last riff. So for that final riff, I actually think I like the Voice of the World better. I think it kind of fits that riff a little bit better, more specifically. But overall, I'd probably lean a little bit more towards the vintage 30, given 6 scenarios. First one, I couldn't make a decision. This last one, I think I do like the Voice of the World better. But the 4 in between, I would probably go with the vintage 30. But I do think the Voice of the World does sound really good, and the orange Jim Root cab is a cool cabinet. But I also want you to keep in mind that even though I would probably lean towards the vintage 30, that doesn't mean that your ears like that better. Make a decision for yourself. I'm just providing sound samples for you to hear and be able to make decisions based off of that. This is all subjective. Like what you like, it's totally fine. But I am curious to see what these will sound like in a mix. So even though I haven't made the mix quite yet, let's end this video with a mix, a rapid fire kind of shootout going between the two, and who knows, maybe I'll like the Voice of the World better, or maybe I'll like the vintage 30 better, or better yet, maybe I'll just like both of them and I'll have options for different songs, which is not a bad thing. This to me just reinforces that the speaker makes the biggest difference in your whole signal chain versus strings, picks, your hand placement, body woods, pickups, cables, heads, cabinets. I'm finding that the speaker is your biggest tone changer. Some people might not agree with that, and that's totally okay. But for me, I'm hearing a lot of the different tone differences when I'm doing different speaker shootouts and tests, and I actually find them to be just as fun as anything else. So definitely check out some other speakers. Let me know which one you liked down below, and here is that final mix. Let me know which one of the mix you liked better too. So thank you for hanging out and checking this little video out. I appreciate your time. Take care, and I'll see you soon.